welcome to this week's episode of The Choir of Elements. We're now on episode 3 as we get into the meat of the campaign. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please take a moment to check out these opening links that are being brought up in chat right now, including merch. We had new merch put on the Streamlabs merch and all the other merch last week. From the Apotheosis game. I just nearly swallowed nothing and choked on it. You know when you do that. And it's really interesting. So check out all the other things as well, like all of the Twitter and Discord and YouTube. Go and check out all of that. And all the places you can interact with us in our community and support us and all the good things. We appreciate you. Also check out our sponsors, Burden Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, whom we're very grateful to because they make this all happen. Also check out the tweet there at the end. The tweet, we really appreciate it if you retweet the tweet and let all your friends know that you're watching, because that really helps us out as well. Get the word out there. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Danielle, would you like to take control of the intro? Would you like to welcome everyone in?
Wait, what?
Would you like to take control, like conduct the intro?
I mean, I can.
If you would like to.
All right. Well then, we will go around and introduce our lovely players today, and I will just go clockwise from me, I guess. So we will start with Jay and Oxy.
Hi, I am CJ or Jay. I'm playing Oxy the Fighter. For anyone that wants to find me elsewhere, you can find me Twitch Crazy J. You can find me at 0d20.com, or you can find me at Boudoir Dice. I do a lot of little crazy, kooky, fun, geek things. Yay!
And Holly.
Oh, hi. My real person name is Holly. You can find me on the internet where nothing is real, right? At Sagephilia on here and on Twitter. I am also joking on nothing. I am going to be playing Cadence of the Crystalline Cove, a Dragonborn paladin today who is right proper and may or may not be sort of set up with a fire lady at the moment. Not really sure how we feel about that because she doesn't like cold very much, and I very much do like cold, so we'll see how this goes.
It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. And next is Ren, who is smiling happily over there.
Hi. I am Ren. I am Atomic Firebird on the Twitter, which is where I live. Also sometimes Instagram. I am playing Detective... Getting the mistakes out now. I'm playing Detective Cassandra Mortmain, who is a very, very proper detective, ranger, warlock. But, you know, underneath all that properness, there's someone who really loves a good romance novel, and what better way to make a romance novel happen while you're running through the elemental planes than to, you know, set up your very good friend with a very attractive, you know, opposites attract type situation. I mean, what sort of tropes can we go with here? We can go with a slow burn. I'm going for a slow burn and an opposites attract. Yes.
I think we can manage that. And last but certainly not least, our lovely host, Scrat.
Back L'Orealian. It's wonderful to be here. I'm an elf,
Awesome.
I think. Half elf. Last time I checked.
All right, so last time you all, you met Ashen, the NPC that has been referenced several times, on your way to talk to Emberlung, the ancient red dragon who is holding your friend Lift hostage right now and has her petrified somewhere in his lair. And he has set you on the path of the person who brought Lift to him and traded her, a young man whose name is Faden, Fadan. So, you left the dragon's lair, headed back toward the city of Brass. And that's where we're going to pick up today. You are headed down toward the Lake of Fire. You can see the city down below you. Covered in, you know, surrounded by this big brass wall, the Lake of Fire with all of the bronze boats and sailing around on it. And you're still on the elemental plane of fire, so everything's very warm. There's like an ash fall going on right now, little bits of ash falling from the sky instead of rain. as the four of you and your new friend Shen head back toward the city of Brass.
Time to get to the brass tacks of the game, I suppose.
Already? Is it time already?
We have started a little early today, yes?
So,
Oh, that was
Shen.
totally out of character.
Oh.
It'll work for both.
So, Shen, tell us more about yourself. What do you like? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite beverage? You like tea?
I do like tea.
What about animals? If you were a wizard, what kind of familiar would you have?
I don't know really. Maybe a fire snake, maybe.
Fire snake. Interesting.
I mean,
I
I'm
wonder,
not-
do fire snakes mate for life? Some
Uh,
birds do, you know.
I don't think so.
Ah, that's a shame. Do you think that's really indicative of your personality?
Probably not. I don't know. I'm not a wizard, and I've never really given much thought to it, to be honest.
I often ask that question because it really tells. It's very telling about one's personality.
About how accurate would you say it is?
I've not actually ever done the math on it. Let me think. Cassandra will sort of like slow and do that thing where she's just like thinking. She like starts like counting on her fingers.
Shen will lean a little bit closer to you, Cadence, and says, "Is she always like this?"
Oh yes, it's part of the charm. You know, just to ask very, very good questions. You know, she's quite the expert investigator. So
Really?
yes,
Is that what you all do? You're investigators.
when we're good, yes. When we're not good, we're more problem solvers. I would say.
Problem makers.
No, I mean we've never quite made a problem that we haven't solved yet. So far. You know, knock on wood, if there's any to knock on. That I know of course. I could be mistaken. Stares at Burback.
Actually, I'm not that bad, you know, just thinking about it. Like, when I think back about all the things I've done, we mainly blow it up a lot. We don't really, like, you know... I mean, I've never really hurt anyone, not badly. I've been a little light-fingered at times, but...
At times.
only in good of the greater cause. You know, it's more liberating than stealing, really, when you think about it.
I
See?
suppose it's you know all for the good of everything.
And
But-
sometimes the people that I set up for the bills that I make deserve the bills anyway.
So we're you know mostly investigators and problem solvers and sometimes freelance good makers. I should say.
Seems like
So if I were to estimate, I think it's probably about a 97% accuracy rate. Cassandra like bursts back up and just nonchalantly.
Really?
Yes.
And what would yours be?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I think I'm an albatross. Or I would be an albatross. They're very protective, you see. And they've got fantastic eyeliner.
I don't know that I've ever seen an albatross.
Oh, I don't think they'd fare very well here.
Well, that's a fair point.
Very few things will fare well here.
It is a bit of a niche environment, so to speak.
Very dry and very hot. And very generally stuffy, sort of, and alarming with all of the brightness and, you know, the fire. Not that it's, of course, it's beautiful, but it is quite a change.
You get used to it over time, and you know it has its moments, and the mountains are beautiful, and sailing on the city is really lovely.
What's your favorite part of the city?
And she sort of, thinks about that for a moment. And she says, well, I really like the Escalat district. That's where all of the interplanar markets and ships are. And it's where you can meet people from outside the plane of fire.
Is that where we might be getting passage to a different plane? Or I don't recall the details since it's been a week.
Fair.
Fifth wall. Fourth wall? How many walls are there? I don't even know.
Just being with you, time seems to move more quickly, so it seems like a week has passed since we've been in our company.
I can't even see the wall from here.
Smooth.
Escalat is actually a very good place to go if you're looking for a ship or passage to another area. That's most of the trade and the travelers come through Escalat.
After Cadence made that really smooth line there, Cassandra's just gonna gently grab the shoulders of Oxy and Burback and just make them slow a little bit so that Decadence and Shen are walking just a little bit ahead of all of them. Especially because we're probably like cresting a ridge and like you can see the pretty town and they're all getting close. So yeah, just giving them some privacy.
Well, you're setting the scene of them, gotcha.
Yes.
I've noticed that things are heating up.
I think she's fanning the flames.
You're certainly warming to him. Her? Them?
Her.
Her?
Sure, her. Maybe we'll see a hot night in the city.
Maybe we'll go clubbing. I'd love to see what they're like with their feet on fire.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Could you imagine when it's just like that warm body environment?
Cadence starts sweating with anticipation, fear, and more fear.
Shen will lean in a little bit and say, "Are you okay? You look like you might be a little ill."
It's quite not. I like. Pardon me. I'm usually very articulate. What would you like to do with the city? With us or me or everybody, whichever.
Well, the markets are really lovely. A great place to go, especially for tourists or people who are visiting the city.
Right, tourists.
There are some lovely temples if you are into sort of church architecture, that sort of thing. What kind of things do you like to do when you go to a new place?
Well, I like to play in the snow if there's snow. And I don't think there's any of that here.
Sorry, there's no snow here.
I like to go swimming, but I fear that is also out of the question.
I have a feeling swimming in the Sea of Fire probably would not be as fun for you as it is for me.
I certainly don't believe so. Sledding, but again, it seems like there's sort of like you said, out of my element. So I suppose the markets, and you said you could possibly get us a guide to the next plane to, chase down the...
Yeah, I could take you to, like I said, the docks where all the ships are, and we could look for some ship that is headed elsewhere. I mean, do you know where you're going to go next?
Looks at Cassandra. Where are we going next? I don't know. I'm not in charge. I am a maid.
All right. well, I guess you can decide that later.
Quite.
Okay.
Just stay right there. I'll be right back. And you can slowly and walk the couple of steps back. Cassandra, I don't think.
What are you doing?
No, I don't know where we're going. She asked where we're going. I don't know where we're going next.
We're to the docks because we have to get a boat to go to the next place.
Well, but which is the next place? We got what, 2 other planes connecting to this one.
Well, we had a conversation about this. It was going to be either Earth or air.
Yeah, but which one?
Decisive action.
I'm not in charge.
Neither am I.
Oxy, which one?
But I thought we were gonna go around in the brass town a little while and like kind of talk to some people and see if we could track the person through here through other means that they had here to try and figure out where they went.
Right.
Because didn't they have like people or places here that we could, investigate?
I've been distracted. I don't remember. It's very difficult keeping conversation.
I'm the muscle. We're the muscle.
Exactly. Bobak, you and Cassandra.
No, I just I'm confused about this leader business. Who is and who isn't the leader? Because they should decide. I think I don't want to decide, and if you're not the leader, then
We've had this conversation at least 13 and a half times. Nobody's in charge. We're a team.
I'm fairly sure that every time I would have voted that you're the leader, Cassandra.
I know, and we had this argument about 13 and a half times. Because there was that half time that Oxy interrupted us, and there was that squirrel that was yes anyway.
Oh yes, I remember.
Sorry.
I would also vote that you were in charge. If a leader had to be, I would follow you into the fire flames and back.
We kind of have.
Exactly.
That's true. Actually, that is true.
Yeah.
Right.
We thank you for listening
14
to us.
and a half time that we have this argument because I'm going to officially stick a pin in this.
That would be the correct leadership decision, I would say.
Of course, agreed.
So where are we going?
To the town to get some rest and some supplies to be able to handle ourselves in the other place.
Then which plane? Because won't that make the supply choice different?
Cassandra did say that she liked mountains, so
Right,
perhaps
yes.
we should do the
Earth?
Earth. Exactly.
Earth it is.
I agree.
Off to Earth we go then.
Right.
So you all continue on your way toward the city of Brass with Eshen leading. Not that you necessarily need her to lead you. You can sort of see it in the distance. Much like before, you see the sun starting to get brighter and brighter overhead, and eventually Eshen calls a halt near one of these ruined structures that you've been passing on the plains. And she says, "It's probably about time to take a short break. I don't think we should really continue into the bright sun."
Agreed.
Well, I'll stick watch then, I suppose, because glances around at all of the fiery dust. Took me quite a long time to clean everything last time, so I don't fancy getting it back out.
That's fine. I mean, we'll be here for a few hours probably, while the worst of it passes. And she'll just start setting up her little camp, basically, underneath one of these
Lean-tos.
yeah, like lean-to type structures that's out here in the waste. What does everyone else want to do with their rest?
Oh.
Not burn.
Yeah.
Burn.
Sunscreen.
Settle in, settle up, and yeah. Have actually a rest just so I'm not exhausted later. Because I imagine we're gonna be traveling for a while afterwards too.
Right. Yeah, so you still have about half the distance to the city to cover.
You know, I really wish that I did have the full elven thing for sleeping, you know. I've always thought that it'd be lovely, I think, to just be able to just sit down and have a little meditate for 4 hours. I'm so lucky.
I don't suppose they make
It
some
would be.
sort of tonic or something that you could take, or maybe some sort of circlet that would rest your brain the same way.
I don't know, but we could keep a lookout for one.
Oh, we should. We should. That'd be great.
What we really need is a wizard.
I don't
We
know.
could
any
make
Make
wizards.
those
Fine.
magical huts, you know.
Those are quite handy.
Could find a wizard. Do you want us to find a wizard? We could find us a wizard.
Going to find just some wizard and say, hello, sir, may we hire you as a hut master? Travel with us among the treacherous plains and put up huts every night.
You know, I bet there are people who do that, though. I could see that being a business that adventurers would invest in.
And people hire people to clean for them, so...
I mean, think about it. You pay how many silvers to an inn every night? You essentially just pay that person the same amount.
Both profits. It's not exactly like you have to pay to cast a spell, usually.
Because it depends on the components, really, doesn't it? I don't know how to cast the hut.
I don't know either.
Don't look at me.
I don't think I know how to cast anything, actually, thinking about it. Oh, no, yes, I do. I'm a bard, I remember.
Oh,
Babak, I've seen you cast before. I mean, not exactly the most, obtrusive of magics, like a giant hut, but...
I know,
Did
but...
you also like mend windows? You mend windows.
Yeah, but, you know, I do it with
Fast.
music and a little song, so I forget that it's magic sometimes, because, you know, just like the music's flowing through me. And apparently
little
now I'm from
thing you do
Birmingham.
is magic. Anyways.
I feel like probably the entire rest just goes on with this sort of like partial bickery, partial, giving each other crap conversation until the rest is over.
Is anybody actually taking a nap, or are you all just like taking a breather?
Cadence is absolutely standing as still as possible in the very center of this room, gripping the
I've got an idea.
parasol.
I've got an idea. None of us have to lay down on the ground. If we all stand, all four of us, thereabouts, with our backs to each other, and then we all can just lean back, and only our feet are touching the ground, and then we can all just take a bit of a nap, but we all just lean back.
Isn't there some sort of way we deal with that when it comes to like sitting against one another?
I don't know. It's sort of a trust exercise, really.
Well, sure.
All right, the four of us, or thereabouts, are going to stand with our backs together. Try to.
There's like some finagling on this side where it's like just trying to get it just right. It's like
All right, so maybe just sort of sit and add your weight to me, Oxy, and we'll sort of make it work.
Oxy, you're not really leaning. You're still standing straight.
trying to lean. Give me a moment here. Give me a moment here. And then there's like some little weird Z thing that goes on where it's like, and huh. Got it working.
Shen is watching all of this with just the most bemused smile on her face, and just shaking her head as she sits in the all of the ash and just leans against the rock. She says, "This is a lot easier, you know."
Yes, but you get so dirty.
Seems like the multiform technique in action.
Just
Not combat.
ash. Brush it off.
But it smears and it gets everywhere. You touch it, goes everywhere.
Well, suit yourself, I suppose. That just doesn't look very restful to me.
Surprisingly, is not. Okay, it's not. Like there's kind of a little warring on that thing. It's both. Over here at least.
I like you ought to make a perception check while you're
Bodily
while you're
finagling.
doing all of this.
Hey.
That's pretty good, Oxy.
Let everyone make him one.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm kind of shocked by that myself.
Really, I'm feeling a little bit sleepy.
Wow.
Not great there, Cassandra.
Nope.
But Oxy and Burback did all right. As you are all sort of getting yourselves into this position with your backs all leaning against each other, Burback and Oxy, you hear what sounds like a scream off in a little ways to the west of you. You can't see where it came from. There's a rise of ash dunes in your way, but it's definitely the scream of something in a great deal of pain.
Did you hear that?
Yes. No.
I did actually, yes.
No, what was it?
Stop talking. We're trying to nap.
Is
Did you?
yeah.
It sounded like pain, right?
Yeah. Not
Like-
good. Not good.
Someone screaming. Cassandra
Yeah, screaming
Cadence,
in pain.
you might not be able to sleep through this one.
I don't know. Cassandra rolled a net one.
If you
Yes,
say
but
so.
that's for how perceptive you are, not how sleepy you are.
Like everyone do a little sleep check.
No judgment on the RP.
Cassandra, and we should probably. All right, let's go. Let's find whatever or whoever it is. I suppose.
It's probably just somebody else getting burned on this horrible ground. All right, what?
Parcel's out then. I think.
Go to the follow? Should we go? I mean, okay. End of the day-ish, we're still kind of helpers. As much as we do our best to be helping ourselves along the same way, because bad ideas abound when you're just broke. Should we go help?
It could be the person who we've been tracking.
I'm here for it.
I will be optimistic that is the case, but I know our luck.
Could be a
So-
wizard that could make a hut,
That's true.
and will thank us by making us a hut.
With a clean floor.
See? Cadence gets it.
Do they have a clean floor though? Because I always thought that the huts were just like.
Like the top and not the floor.
Yes.
It's fine.
If that were the case, then something would be able to burrow through it.
No, it's a very good hut. We're going to move on and look for the screaming. Yes.
As we're walking, we're like, yes, Cadence, I've heard about it. Some people have thought they're very nice and safe in their hut, and then before you know it, whoomph, worm.
Like a purple worm, or like just sort of a little.
Cassandra turns around and shoots Burbeck the dagger eyes. Stop making her more paranoid.
Oh.
Or do you mean the sort of worm that sort of crawls into your feet and then is inside of your body and then leaves?
No, it's a magical hut and it's perfectly impervious to everything. It's fine. It's perfectly hot. It's very clean. Stop.
I think it's clean. It gets cleaned every time it gets cast, right? Like it's perfect conditions. Just perfect conditions.
We don't even have this hypothetical hut.
Well, we might be hypothetically heading to the hypothetical hut.
Hypothetically, let's go.
I'm pretty sure literally we're heading towards the direction of the scream, so okay, I'll stop.
How are you? Are you guys all having this conversation just like at normal volume en route?
Yeah.
Probably.
Am I? Yes.
Just making sure.
Maybe not. Little tiny whispers coming on from the cloak.
I am absolutely horrified by the concept of worms burrowing into my feet.
I'm not even trying to be quiet. We're going to help.
Okay.
Scream of pain.
You all sort of stomp off toward the sound of this scream, and as you come up over the top of this dune, you can see ahead of you what looks like 3 columns of flame that are just sort of whirling and moving, kind of like dust devils, but fire. And they are all gathered around well, from this distance, it looks like a body. You can't tell if whatever it is moving, but it is roughly humanoid shaped, laying on the ground and looks sort of scorched and blackened from this distance. The creatures are sort of moving around it, not in any particular pattern, but every now and then one of them will go over top of this thing on the ground, and you hear, the first time you see that happen, you hear another scream, but the next time you don't hear a scream anymore.
Empathizing with the horror of the flames, I would probably rush into action. I don't know if this is when we roll initiative or I just rush in.
Yeah, if you're gonna run in, we will absolutely roll initiative.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, then go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh dear.
Oh god, my initiative is absolutely garbage.
Oh bugger, I'm not very good at fighting.
There's a tie. Rock, paper, scissors.
Good.
Getting my stuff together here. Okay. So let me look at that initiative order. Okay, we have Cassandra and Oxy. Who has the higher dex?
The 16.
I have a 15 dex. You win. Yay.
All right. So. All right, so Cassandra, technically in initiative order, you are first. If you want to do anything.
What I think I would like to do. How far are we from this scuffle?
You are, right now you're about 100 feet away.
Okay, then, in that case, I'm going to dash as close as I can.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna run.
What's your speed right now?
30.
30. So you get 60 feet. So that's over halfway there.
Wow!
Okay.
I mean, I'm brandishing my sword and my parasol.
Are you shouting or are you just brandishing?
I'm just brandishing. I'm just running.
Okay. The creatures are not reacting as you close in. They seem very focused on whatever it is that they're doing. And that means Oxy, you're next.
I will run over towards what's close as I can to them, which is only 20 speed. It's a really interesting looking run, but there we go. Short swords out.
Okay. And that'll bring us around to you, Cadence.
With a mighty draconic roar, quite unlike the proper dragonborn that Decadence usually is in the heat of battle. She will run up as fast as she can, which is only 60 feet. But we are running, we are making noise, we are charging, and we are looking glorious with our our sword, our great sword out.
Okay. So I've got, this is a really lovely mental image. Cadence with her sword out, Cassandra brandishing a parasol,
Oxy doing anything.
Oxy loping along behind them.
Toddling along.
Yes. Barback, what are you doing?
Unmuting myself for a start. Nearly got myself. This looks like a lot of effort. I'm going to bonus action to dash close to Cassandra.
Okay.
I assume I'm as fast as Cassandra, 30 feet.
Yeah, that'll get you to Cassandra.
Awesome. And then I'd like to use my action to have a look at these beasts.
Sure.
And try and, get a little bit of insight into them and how they might fight. Because, I've got that thing.
You have a thing?
Ooh, a thing.
Because it's a bonus action, yeah.
All right. Okay. So go ahead and make the insight check, and I will just roll. I don't really have anything. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I rolled a nat 1 for their deception check, and you got a 26. So, yeah. So you will get your sneak attack. And I'll say that as you're watching these things, you are pretty sure that these are fire elementals. You've seen a few elementals here and there. Sometimes they show up on the material plane, but you've never really seen elementals gang up on someone quite the way these three seem to have ganged up on whoever it is that's on the ground.
All right. Well, in the 6 seconds I've got, I'll be like, Cassandra, they look like fire elementals ganging up on something. As we run.
She'll nod and continue running.
So it is now the fire elemental's turn, actually. And the nearest one, now that you guys are all, running, shouting, brandishing weapons, the nearest one to Cassandra, Cadence, and Burback will actually turn around. You can see that it has, while it is more generally shaped like a column of fire, it has eye-like areas of fire that are white hot and a rip for a mouth that's similar. And it moves forward, not really on legs or anything like that, just sort of the column of fire whipping up the ash as it comes to you. And actually, it can cross the entire distance because it has a lot of movement. And it is going to try to attack Decadence because Cadence looks the most threatening with the sword. And let me see here. Cadence, your armor class is a 19.
I'm not sure if you meant to be muted then, Cadence, but you made me realize that I too was muted.
I didn't mean to be muted. I said with the sword and the screaming.
Yes. Okay. So it reaches out for you with its hands. It's not even. It doesn't have weapons or anything like that. It's just reaching out at you with fiery hands. You dodge out of the way of the first one, and then it kind of grabs your arm, and you can feel your armor starting to heat up. You will take. That is 14 fire damage.
Perfect.
The other two look up briefly. You get a glimpse of their faces, and then they go back to what they were doing before. And Cassandra, it is your turn.
All right. I am going to It's probably a terrible idea. How close are these things to me at this point, since they came up to attack Decadence?
Well, one of them came up to attack Decadence, so that one I would say is easily within 10 feet of you if you wanted to get close to it. The other two are still a good 40 feet away.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush 30 feet towards those two that are still around the thing. And I am going to use an action to do Fey Presence to try to frighten them to scurry away from me / the body.
Okay.
They have to make a wisdom saving throw of DC 15 or higher.
Okay. All right. They both fail.
Okay.
So
Then
you can
they are.
That's...
So I rush up to these two fire creatures, and I lift up my parasol, because I've got the sword in one hand, but I lift up the parasol, and I just cause the Fey energy within me to shoot up through the parasol like this bright, just blue blast. Hopefully, which tricks them into thinking that maybe it's cold related or something, or water related, so that they are worried that I'm a little bit more able to tackle them than I actually am.
Ooh.
And that grants them the frightened condition, right?
Yes, so they're frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
Awesome. Anything else for you? Are you good?
That was my action. I don't have any bonus actions that are useful right here.
All right.
Actually,
then...
no. Actually, I do. Sorry, I am not used to playing a ranger. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the left one.
Cool. Yeah. All right. And Oxy, it's your turn.
Okay, going to rush in if I can close the distance on the one on the right, since Cassandra has the one on the left, it seems.
So you are still just about 60 feet away. But
Okay,
you can definitely reach the one that's attacking Cadence.
Oh, then I will reach one attacking Cadence instead. Pardon me. We'll go close with that one. And I'm going to use the multi-form technique. Because I can. So one second, just switching my sheet so I can actually roll it up here. Attack 1. So, yay! Will a 29 hit?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's actually that's a nat 20.
It is.
Attack 2. 3.
Yes.
And 4.
Yeah, those are all hits.
Fantastic. Okay, now I gotta see how to actually roll the damage. It's that's not how you roll. Stop that, computer. Stop it. Well, just let me roll. It won't let me roll the damage. Dang it. Fine.
I'm muted, sorry. What you do is you go over onto the chat window where the rolls are appearing, and when you highlight the word short sword +1 on there, it should roll. And if you click the one that has the crit on it, it will roll crit damage, the others will roll normal damage.
There we go. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So let me do some super quick math. So that's 20, 25, 34 points of damage.
34 damage total.
Nice.
Do you want to say quick
And-
maths? 22. Not right, but it's quick.
All right.
And reassemble.
Would you like to describe what your attack looks like at all, or are you?
All right. So for the people around that see this, I'm sure my adventuring companions have seen this before, but basically what happens is what was one tall being suddenly just breaks down into 3 parts, surrounds the elemental, save for space for Cadence, and then every one of them has like a short sword. And there is all 3 just kind of like, yeah! And then the top one, the blonde, gets another extra attack, and away it goes. And all of a sudden, it just assembles into a tall person again.
This elemental appears very confused. And it's you see your short swords cutting these long gashes in it that don't seem to be closing up quite the way you would expect fire to just reform around a sword wound. All right. Cadence.
If I move away from this one, will it get an attack of opportunity? Is it close enough?
Yes.
That's all right. I'm pretty beefy. I want to move closer to there's 3 left, right?
There are 3, yes.
All right. I want to move closer to them. I'll go ahead and take the attack of opportunity.
Okay. That is going to be a hit.
It's fine.
That'll be 10 points of fire damage.
Perfect. All right. And then I want to be unorthodox. I don't have a lot of ranged spells, so what I'm going to do is in an area right underneath all of the madness, going to create food and water. I can create 30 gallons of water on the ground. So I'd like to do that. And as for the food, I imagine it's magical food. So I'm picturing, it's bland but nourishing. I don't know, what's a bland flavor of ice cream?
Go for oatmeal. Could oatmeal?
It's a mana pie, like from World of Warcraft.
Just want something cold and bland. So
okay. We'll do vanilla ice cream. It's gonna start to melt right away, but
that's okay. It will have a shock factor.
And not the fancy vanilla. We're talking the really bad vanilla.
Like discount Kroger vanilla.
And you say how much? You said 30 feet of water you can create?
It's 30 gallons of water.
30 gallons of water. I'm trying to figure out what kind of volume that is. Okay. Yeah. I'll say you can create what looks essentially like a small fountain that just pulls up out of the ground as you create water, and the ice cream just appears in a circle around the base of this fountain, and it does. So fire elementals do take damage when they get hit with water. So you see both of these elementals recoil from the water that this fountain you created in the center.
All right, perfect. That's going to be my turn.
I'm in shock.
I don't know if I've ever seen that used offensively. That was brilliant.
Very, very clever use of the spell.
We're going to be traveling through elemental planes. We'll need supplies. And I'm like, plane of fire. Huh.
Burback.
Well, I've investigated these things, right? And I've got a pretty good idea. I can see that Oxy's slashes are not closing up the way they normally would on fire. So, I guess I'll stroll up to the one that Oxy has attacked the most.
Mm-hmm.
That looks the most damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And Cadence, obviously, as well. With I don't want to... You've really done us a wonderful trick there. Made us a nice packed lunch and hurt the monsters. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stroll up and draw my rapier. And I'd like to try and I'm going to enter a jeweler's pose. Sort of a full fencing thing. And on guard, have a little stab.
All right.
I'm going to whip the blade with a flourish as well, which I believe is a bonus action. Is it a bonus action? Hang on, before I do it, I'll check. Oh, no, I can do it as a part of the action. Lovely. So I'm going to do it's going to be a nice little flourishing blade as I come in. I look very fancy. It's wonderful. Does a 19 hit?
Absolutely.
Please take 28 points of damage.
Okay. And is your rapier magical at all?
No, it is not. It's a regular rapier.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do, I think, is do a bit of a mobile flourish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bardic inspiration. I do extra damage. But then I move up to 5 feet away. I push the target up to 5 feet away from me.
Okay.
Plus the number of feet I roll on that die, which was a 2.
Okay, so 7 feet away. Do you have a particular direction you want to push it?
Just away from me. I don't want to be close to the thing.
All right. Then I would say probably you're going to push it toward Oxy and Cassandra. Or, sorry, not Oxy and Cassandra. Cadence and Cassandra, who are up at the front.
Are we flanking?
Ish.
More of a fencer, to be honest. I probably wouldn't know much about flanking, but...
Oh, I didn't wear I'm a flanking bonus shirt. Dang it.
It is their turn. The one that is that you just hammered, Oxy, is going to try to get you. And Oxy, your AC is lower than Cadence's. So it is going to hit you with both of its attacks. So basically, this thing just fixes both of its arms on either side of your shoulder.
Oh.
And it's going to deal you 17 points of fire damage.
Oof.
And your coat ignites. So you are on fire.
Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
That's not great, really, is it?
No. We do not like this. We do not like this at all.
The other two that are that just got hit with the water and now there's ice cream between them. They let out sort of a hissing. Sounds a bit like the crackling of a fire when like a log breaks, and they move forward. One of them is going to go after Cadence, which I believe will have disadvantage because it is within Cassandra's line of sight. I can see her. So that is hit, and that is a miss. So you get sort of a glancing blow, Cadence, another 10 points of fire damage from this thing. The other one... the other one tries to hit you, Cassandra, but it can't quite seem to overcome its fear of you. Yeah. And it sort of, half-heartedly swipes at you.
Come at me, bro.
And it is your turn, Cassandra.
Excellent. I am going to, with, the best sort of scary Mary Poppins warlock flair, with the parasol and the rapier, do a little skip jump over the ice cream so I don't get the edge of my skirt wet, and stab at the one that just attacked me with my Frostbrand rapier.
Nice.
I hope I have input all of this into the system correctly, so I should be attacking with a +7. Gosh darn it. Well, that was anticlimactic to the
Yes, unfortunately an 11 is not enough.
That's fine.
It sees that frostbite rapier coming and knows that is very bad news.
Okay. Oh, I have 2 attacks though, because I am level whatever. So I miss, and then that's fine, I meant to do that. And then I stab back the other way. For 25.
Yes, that's definitely a hit. Yeah, so it dodges the first one, but doesn't seem to notice you flourishing.
I was just aiming. Okay, so if I have this right, it should do... Okay, I didn't do it right. Okay, so that's... The regular damage is 10, and then I need to roll a d6 for the cold damage. 1, and then also roll a d6 for my hunter's mark. So another 1, so a whole 12 damage. One of it's cold. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Literally. And then as a bonus action, I will just holler out to Decadence. And this is where I can't think of a good pun in time. You've got this, darling. We've been in this sort of heat before. Cast healing word.
Thank God.
I approve.
Wait, I don't have healing word. What am I talking about?
I don't know, but I appreciate it.
I was just playing a cleric yesterday. I'm sorry. I just got really confused.
Okay, encouragement is always allowed.
It's the warlock inspiration.
I don't do anything. Oh my gosh. My other DM is watching this. She's going to laugh at me so hard. Yeah, I don't have healing word. Never mind. Goodbye. I'm done. I mute myself in my embarrassment.
All right, Oxy, what do you want to do?
Let's do the just general attacks. 4 attacks. Let's see here.
Yes. No. Yes. Yes. So 3 hits.
Yay! Oh wait. Oh yeah. 3 out of 4. So there we go. A whopping 23.
Very nice.
23. 23 damage.
Yeah. This creature, it is definitely the fire that was spinning around so quickly and moving so lively and fast as it came at you across the ash is definitely now slowing down and fading. You can see wisps curling off and vanishing. And anything else for you, Oxy, on your turn?
I don't know if I can move away because it's got its flaming arms on my shoulder, but I'd like to then try at least stop, drop, and roll. As weird as that will look like.
I'll say if you want to use your movement to stop, drop, and roll, you can definitely do that. It's not grappling you or anything like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, stop, dropping, and rolling. Stop, dropping, and rolling.
All right. So you stop, drop, and roll. The ash definitely seems to be damping the flames for sure.
Oh, good.
Although Cadence is not going to like the way your coat looks when you stand up.
Should have taken mending as a cantrip.
I think Barback has that. We'll deal
do.
with it afterwards.
I do actually.
Between the two of us, we'd make great tailors. I could prestidigitate everything, and then you could mend it. Perfect.
I'll run the laundromat.
Cadence, it is your turn.
Now that I'm up closer, can I tell what sort of state this gentleman or lady or object is in that has been surrounded?
Yes. So give me a perception check just so I can get a read on how much you can see.
Not good at that.
This isn't your action. This is just to take a look. Okay.
Still not good.
So this is definitely a person for sure. They are very, very badly burned, and they don't seem to be moving at all from what you can tell. So if not dead, then definitely unconscious and very grievously hurt. You can see feathers.
Feathers.
Scorched feathers, yes. And it looks like this being has wings.
What do I do? I had 2 plans. Okay. So I will go ahead and yeah, I guess I have to heal this person. That's fine. Did it look like the cold affected the Cassandra's cold affected them in a big way? The 1 point.
The 1 point of cold.
Hard to tell.
Okay.
Since it really wasn't a lot of cold damage off of the sword.
Alright.
So.
Okay. I want to see if I can catch both of the 2 that are up on them with my breath weapon without hitting allies. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's probably. Was your breath weapon a cone or a line?
It is a cone, 15-foot cone.
Yeah, that should be doable. You can sort of maneuver yourself into a position where you can catch them both.
Okay, so they are going to have to make a con saving throw. The DC is I calculate this a lot. More than 10, more than 12. It is 15, I think.
Okay. So the bad news for you is that they both passed. But the good news is they're still going to take half damage. So
Exactly, which is 4d6 cold damage. 15 cold damage.
awesome.
And then if I have any more move, will try to position myself between the fiery columns of death and the dying person on the floor.
You can absolutely do that.
All right, let's do it.
It definitely still seems to affect them quite a bit.
Excellent.
Even though they dodged a lot of it, you see some of the flame just harden out into ice and then fall to the ground and land in the ash. Urbac.
Looks very pleased.
Burback steps forward and puts away the rapier. Cold damage then, is it? Fine. I'm going to cast Otterluke's Icy Whirlwind. And what I would like to do is create a major image of an icy whirlwind. Now, with specification to temperature, it says it seems completely real, including sound, smell, and temperature appropriate to the thing depicted, but not sufficiently to cause damage. So it's like just on the cusp of being damaging. Like,
all right. I'm gonna say appears completely real. All right. Yeah, what does your whirlwind look like?
it's a 20-foot diameter whirling cyclone of death with icicles and loud wind noises that sound sort of icy. Probably sounds a bit strange to these creatures living here on the fire plane. And it's cold. It feels a lot like aircon, actually, as we walk into it. It'll probably be quite nice after all this heat. I should have thought of this earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, actually, since it does produce actual temperature. Yeah, you create this thing. Your range is 120 feet, so you can put this pretty much wherever you want in the middle of this combat.
I want to put it right on top of the fire elementals, hopefully covering the person also, giving Cadence a bit of cover to work on them.
Yeah, so Cadence, you feel this nice, cool breeze settle over you as this whirlwind comes down.
It's perfect.
It probably, I mean, it probably feels closer to an icy death wind, but it won't hurt you. That's the nice thing.
It's like blowing into my own hands.
They do seem distressed. And in fact, it is their turn. The one that was up with you, Burback, and with Oxy, is going to turn and flee. It is very badly wounded, and it tries to get across the ash. Oxy, you will get an attack of opportunity.
Excellent.
If you would like.
Oh yes. Oh yes, I would like. I probably can only attack once though, but
That is correct. That's a hit. Okay. So you hit it once with your sword as it runs away. That does not kill it, so it will continue to move, and it does have it is very fast. It gets quite far away from you. The other two are not liking this icy whirlwind that's been dropped into their midst. And they too are going to attempt to flee. That does mean Cassandra and Cadence, I would say you both can take attack of opportunity as well.
Yes. Stabby.
I'd like to use an advantage.
Yeah.
All right. Cassandra?
Ugh, come on.
Yeah, unfortunately a 12 is not going to do it. Man, Roll20 doesn't like you tonight.
Nope.
Dirty 20?
Ooh, yes.
At that point, is that all printed out? Okay. It's 14, and I don't think I can use any sort of smite. I can, because it's not as an action.
Not an action.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and smite it. And I will use a... This is my first time playing Paladin, bear with me. A 3rd level spell slot? Sure, why not? So that's gonna be 1d8, 2d8, 3d8 extra damage. I should put roll.
Well, smite as well.
And I think
Nice.
that is...
Good roll.
And they also take an extra 1d8 of radiant damage because improved divine smite.
Yes.
Another 8. And I think that is it. Yes, that is all I can do.
Okay. They, again, not quite enough to kill it, but they are fleeing now across the ash, and they do not seem inclined to come back. You see them, that one and the one that Oxy was wailing on are both appear to be very badly wounded, and they're out of here. I mean, they've lost interest in whatever it was that they were doing now that they've come under attack. So the 4 of you are left. Well, first of all, you have ice cream now. That may be important. It is melting. But
No, it's not. Isn't it beneath the things?
Fresh ice
The
cream.
refrigerator's cold is enough to keep it. Yeah, you're right. It's no longer, the ice cream is no longer melting. Very important priorities here. Ice cream is no longer melting, so you do have that going for you. And in the midst of all of this is this unconscious, scorched Aarakocra.
Also muddy now because of my 30 gallons of water.
Yes, damn.
Let me just lay my hands on him.
Okay. I was going to say I can cast a spell that I do have, which is Cure Wounds, but go right ahead.
I'd absolutely love to. All right, I'm going to spend. I'll take them up. I'll take them up 10 hit points.
Okay. All right. So you lay on hands and you see this, divine, radiant glow rush out from you into this Aarakocra. The burns on their face heal a little bit, not completely, but their skin no longer looks quite so scorched and nastily burned, and you hear their breathing ease back into sort of a normal up and down regular breathing pattern, and then after a second you see their eyelids flutter like they're starting to come back to consciousness.
Woo. Good.
You like ice cream?
Their eyes open and they're like, what?
Ice cream, maybe to sort of get you a bit energized. You've had quite a rough day, so it might be soothing for your throat out here. As you can feel, it's quite comfortable in this chill.
I thought
Only gonna last for 10 minutes though.
And the Aarakocra sort of rolls over on their side and sees this like circle of ice cream and says, I was on the plane of fire. How? And they just point at one of the ice cream balls.
Darling, you don't like an
Sorry.
ice cream ball in the mouth.
Very wise.
Thank you. I don't have the puns.
Don't fret. You're still on the fire plane.
Unfortunately, we all are.
Thank you for and they feel kind of the side of their face, which is still covered in burn marks, and they make a noise. Thank you for the rescue.
Oh, you still look quite the mess. And I will reach down and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
So that's 1d8 plus 4. Ooh.
Very
Is
nice.
that right? Did I do that right? I think so. Yes. Okay.
Uh,
I no longer
Ew.
trust max rolls. Okay, 12.
Yeah, you see now a lot more of these burns fade away, and it definitely looks like several weeks have gone by now instead of them being very, very recent. And their breathing steadies even a little bit more, and they take a big breath and let it out. Thank you. That feels much better. And they seem to look at the four of you for the first time and tilt their head. We don't. What are you doing on this plane? If you don't mind my asking, not that I'm not grateful.
It's, you know, we are here on a very, very important and official business, which we are not necessarily at liberty to divulge, even though you seem like a very nice bird friend.
That's fair. I'm not used to seeing humans and half elves and such here, and dragonborn.
That's quite all right. Have you, by any chance, and Cassandra is just nonchalantly as possible, fanning herself, seen, anyone ferrying genasi or anything like that about, anything else weird?
No, no.
Good. All right.
Is there a reason? I mean, is there something happening that I should be aware of?
Oh no, you're perfectly safe, I'm sure.
Well, safe, maybe not. They say, like, sort of gesturing at their
Well,
scorched
that is accurate. Ashen.
Ashen's just sitting, like on a dune away. She just was watching this whole. And she goes, "Yes."
Do you two know each other? Like, because you're both from here.
She, she laughs a little and she says, "No, definitely not."
It was worth showing.
Why were those things attacking you?
I honestly have no idea. I've flown over the plane of fire several times before and not been attacked, and I don't know. They jumped me, and I wasn't ready, and you saw how that turned out. 3 fire elementals versus 1 Aarakocra is not exactly a good equation.
Yes, it seemed a very unfortunate turn of events.
You're telling me?
I'm more curious. So you said you were flying over and they reached you?
Well, I was skimming. I wasn't flying high up. It's the air currents here are a little bit dangerous at times, and a bit safer closer to the ground. And this isn't,
Alright.
it's not quite the same as flying in the plane of air.
Or not, as the case may be.
That's true. I mean, the plane of air is just as dangerous if you're not prepared.
So are you from there? From here you were saying, or just from the planes in general?
Oh, I'm from the plane of air, and they sort of point off in the rough direction of where you'd have to go if you wanted to head to the plane of air, out past the city of Brass. I was just, passing through. Actually headed back.
Oh, interesting.
My name is Key, by the way.
Key?
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Oxy.
Nice to meet you, Oxy, and thank you very much for your assistance, all of you. They sort of tap down their clothes as if they're feeling for possessions and things like that, and then they pull out a what looks like a small chime, and almost like a wind chime, and they'll offer it to Cadence or Cassandra, whoever's closer. We'll say Cadence, since Cadence was right there with the ice cream. Please take this as a token of my appreciation. I don't have much to offer you, but I'd feel better knowing that I had at least been able to thank you in some way.
Well, we don't want to take, your only possession or one of your most prized possessions, I can assume.
No. I mean, please, it's not anything that it doesn't have sentimental meaning or anything like that to me. And I don't know what you're here for, but maybe you can use it. And if you can, if it helps you in some way after you saved my life, then it was a gift worth giving.
What is it exactly?
It's a chime of opening. Have you heard of a chime of opening before?
No. What does it do?
Well, if you ring it, you can use it to open doors, things like that.
Probably quite a bit easier than breaking them or, forcing them open.
Yeah.
Cassandra looks very interested, but also immediately looks at Burback to see if Burback heard any of that.
Decadence is extending this back in the general direction of anybody.
Snatch.
Oxy takes it. Aw.
I'm thinking that since Scrat was slightly AFK, probably Burback wasn't really paying much attention. He was just gorging their face of ice cream.
Okay.
Oxy be like, yeah. Aw.
Thank you. It would be quite useful. We appreciate it. Perhaps we'll see you in one of the other planes. We're planning on potentially traveling around a bit.
Yes.
Do you need safe escort back to the city?
I mean, if you can just help me get to someplace a little bit more sheltered, I think I'll be okay. I just need to rest, and then I can.
Are you by any chance a wizard?
I dabble a little.
Do you know how to make your own shelter?
Good God.
I do actually. It's a very important
Yes!
skill.
Goodbye, fan.
Wonderful.
It's over there.
Are you in need of a shelter?
Well, you are, and we wouldn't, mind a shelter.
Well, I'd be happy to put one up, and you can stay as long as you like, and then.
That's brilliant. Isn't that just a Shen? Isn't this lovely news?
Shen just rolls her eyes. She's like, you should get out of the sun.
In the
right.
shelter.
It's
Working
quite
on
nice in the blizzard, though.
Shen just sort of makes a face. I'll pass, thank you.
No, that I totally understand. I probably would too in your position.
Do we want to rest now, or do you need to rest a bit before you can cast that? I'd hate to overtax you.
No, I think if you can help me get to a spot where I can sit, then I should be able to get it up. I'd like to put the spell up so that I have a safe place to sleep for a bit.
Decadence bodily lifts him, bridal style.
Just carries him over to.
All right, let's go then. It's very burnt and dirty. Just come on. Please, lead me somewhere.
Okay. Let's find us a spot that we can use. Let's find a spot.
Well, this ash here has been nice and cool, hasn't it? And it happens to be a 20-foot circle. With ice cream inside. Doesn't seem like rocket science to me.
We might have to clear the ice cream a little bit at least, though. Do we?
What if we cast it around the ice cream? Perhaps it will stay cold.
I'm going as fast as I can, Oxy. I'm trying. Okay, you can give me...
Okay. We'll give you a hand. We'll give you a hand. Okay, let's give you a hand.
All right, I'll just wait here with this bird.
Burback and Oxy, will both of you give me Constitution saving throws?
Oh, brain freeze, no!
Hey, you get +3 to saving throws when you're in my aura.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, because that's a 14 then.
Oxy, you're fine, but Burback, after consuming your, 6th bowl of ice cream, you get the most splitting headache.
Oh.
Oh. Hurry up and cast the dome, would you? I feel like I need to take a lay down.
Oh.
Cassandra will link elbows with Burback and help usher him towards where Decadence is ushering the Eric Ogre towards some better place to cast the spell.
So Cadence, where do you take you?
Just
Walking.
I'm just like staring at all of the soot and filth and mud and ice cream on this person and probably blood and just like, where do I go? Does someone take me?
Okay, have we cleared enough? Have we cleared? Are you fine? Is this enough? Can you cast it here?
Can you
'Cause
cast that spell?
Yeah.
like she's going to drop any moment.
Yeah, just put me down on the ground. I think I can. Yes, I can just cast it here.
I'm just gonna try to prestidigitate Cadence, just to ease the impending panic.
Sure. And Key will, when Cadence sets them back down, he brings out like a few components from a pouch and will cast the infamous Lehman's tiny hut.
Woo!
Giving you a tiny hut, and just for the sake of funsies, we will say that it is temperature controlled.
I think it is.
I'm not sure if that's actually true or not.
I'm going to purify food and drink and start eating the ice cream.
You don't need to purify it, Cadence, just because it's been in the blizzard.
I think it's because it's been on the ground.
and ash and everything else in the blizzard.
That's okay. It's just giving it extra crunch.
Isn't charcoal supposed to be something good for your body somehow?
Exactly. They put it in cheese, don't they?
And toothpaste and
And ice cream's nearly cheese.
Oh, that was visceral.
I don't want to eat ice cream anymore.
Never want ice cream again.
Congratulations. You've made a cold dragon hate ice cream. How do you feel?
It's not nearly cheese. Now that said, you can make a delightful one out of like a very sweet cheese. But it's not cheese.
I mean, it's a solid dairy product. They're not that different, are they, really? Let's be honest.
It's clean. I've cleaned it. It's fine. It's clean. I've cleaned it. It's fine. I can eat it because it's clean.
Cassandra takes one look at this, jumps into the hut, rolls up into a burrito of blanket, and falls asleep.
Shen will come up to the hut where all of you are eating your purified ice cream.
Bless this ice cream.
Holy ice cream. And she'll sit down and she's peering at it very curiously. Cadence, what is this?
It's very cold. I'm not sure if you'd like it. It's made out of a type of bean and some sort of wet product you get from an animal, and some sugar. I'm not sure if you have that here. It's ice cream. Would you like to try it? It's very
sure.
sweet. It is cold though, so.
Okay. I'll just take a small. She fishes around in her stuff and comes out with a spoon, and takes the tiniest little bit of this ice cream, and takes a bite. And, see her eyes get very, very big. She says, "Oh, it's a little cold, but it's sweet. I like the taste."
You like sweetness?
Sweet foods are delicious.
You know, there are lots of cold sweet foods. Strawberries and ice cream, of course. There's frozen shaved ice. I'm not sure that I've had anything properly that's hot and sweet. Maybe hot chocolate, but tends to burn my throat a little bit.
Well, we do have some lovely hot chocolate shops in the city of Brass.
Certainly have to try some. Would you care to get inside of the hut? I think it's sort of like a vampire thing. You have to be invited.
Yes, I think that would be good, and we can rest from the sun a little.
Of course.
Now that you've chased away those elementals.
Cadence opens the door.
The force
Flap. The pulls back the force.
pulls back
Make-
the force field.
This wouldn't be the first time.
Actually, yes.
Pulls open.
Eshin will join you in the Lehman's tiny hut, where she herself will lay down and take a nap.
Cadence will also take a nap. Cadence is having some feelings about getting the crap kicked out of her.
Oxy will hold the door open for Burbeck. Sleep?
Yes. What do you think of those two then?
I think the feelings are going aflame.
Really, one thing. Never telling Cadence that I know how to do presentation, you know.
I will not say a thing myself.
You know how tempting it is to just soil some of the things that she's like standing on or something. You can use that spell to make things dirty as well as clean, you know.
Do you remember what happened the last time we messed with either one of their sleeping bags and boots?
Yes,
and
I do.
pillows?
Not well enough, though. Perhaps we should schedule it again sometime.
Yes, I agree. We should. Because yeah. Maybe now.
I don't know, you know, I think if we mess with Cadence today, then the whole, you know, ship thing over there that Cassandra's been working on, if that goes wrong, then Cassandra's gonna go nuts. So let's I don't want to stoke the fire.
I mean,
They might
Okay,
desert us.
they might. That's the unfortunate part. And I mean, and the revenge is a dish best served cold, and we now know Cadence can completely layer us with this.
She does have an advantage in the cold department. Like a refrigerator.
Yep. She could just permanently put us on ice.
Right?
We'll give it another day.
Hmm.
Good.
Cool.
After you.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
A hand comes out of the Cassandra blanket burrito and throws another fan at both of you.
Can I try and catch it?
Here's what I'll do. Cassandra, I'm gonna say make an attack roll with your fan.
Okay. Didn't think about that part.
See if you hit them with the.
I haven't taken any levels in Monk yet.
Roll.
Just roll me a d20, and if you have a dex modifier, you can add that.
Okay. Plus 3. 14.
All right. So given that Burback's AC is 15, I will say you hurl the fan, and Burback, you are able to snatch it out of the air before it hits you.
And I'll take the fan. I'll say, Cassandra, you know these things are really defunct. You spend more energy cooling yourself than you actually do any cooling. Makes you hotter. Throw it back.
She's really not a fan of us, is she?
Like, grumpy re-rolling in the burrito happening.
At the moment, she's just full of hot air, that's all. Anyway, at least in here, going to sleep should be a breeze.
Agreed. It's definitely not gonna hurt as much.
Are y'all keeping lists of these somewhere?
I kind of wish I was.
No.
All right. You all settle down for, well, not the evening or the night, because there is no night in the Plane of Fire, as we established last time, but for the period of the bright sun, where it's really just too hot to do much of anything in the Plane of Fire. And but fortunately, everything is nice and comfortable in the tiny hut. And by the time the sun starts to dim and darken, you are all feeling very well rested again. Cadence, you are no longer badly burned. And your new friend, Key, the Arakakra, is also looking a lot less scorched.
Thank you so much for this rest. It's been quite wonderful. We couldn't have done it without you, Key. You're looking much more chipper.
I feel a lot better, that's for sure. A good rest can really do wonders.
Can I roll a medicine check on myself to see if I detect the presence of tiny worms that have burrowed into my body?
Sure.
Oh, thank God it's not a 1.
I will not cast Prestidigitate today. I will not cast Prestidigitate today.
You do not think there are any tiny worms that have burrowed into your body. You are a paladin, and you're sort of immune to most diseases and such things.
I know.
So you're pretty sure you're good right now.
Oh, thank goodness. I could cure it if it happened. Just saying. Want to gently shake awake Cassandra. It's possibly night, lower sun, dim sun time. Not a sunny day.
Good morning.
You hear Ashen, dark sun.
Dark sun, yes.
All right. I'm fine.
Did you sleep well?
And Cassandra kind of shoots a glare over at Oxy and Burbeck. Perfectly.
Don't look at me. I didn't do nothing.
Nothing at all.
Good to hear. And then starting the prestidigitation.
Thought I saw some earwigs yesterday, though, in the ash.
Did I just go in your ear?
Oh, yes. Nothing, though. Nothing. It's, can't be that much of an issue on a fire plane, right?
Unless the fire earwigs.
I'm sure those don't exist. Perhaps I just imagined it.
Right. Still.
You'll be fine. You don't sleep with your head right on the ground, right?
Oh no, I have the plastic. Well, first there's the bedroll and the plastic around the bedroll, and then there's the pillow which has the plastic, and then the case which also has the plastic. So, and then there's my sleeping cap.
Ashen leans over to Cassandra and says, "She really doesn't like dirt or bugs or anything like that, does she?"
No, but it's really an adorable quirk, don't you think?
I mean, it's cute in its own way, endearing.
Yes. And it means she's a very sensible person.
Yes, I suppose that's true.
But not so sensible that she's boring and won't go on adventures.
Clearly, or I assume you wouldn't be here. Well, we have quite a bit of ground to cover still today if we want to make it to the city before the bright sun occurs again. So, are you all ready to go?
Just one moment. And Cassandra is going to snap her fingers, and her entire outfit turns into armor. But you've seen her do this again before. The blue one. And then the whole thing turns into this. Just like a nice Victorian-ish blue dress. And she'll like smooth her hair and defiantly snap her fan out. Yes, now I'm ready.
You always look so put together.
Magic.
Of course. And Cadence will roll up her stuff.
All right, well, let's get going then, I guess.
Are you coming with us, Key, to the Brass City?
No, I think I'm going to try to get home. I can probably make it pretty far today, if not the whole way there. If I fly most of the day, and I think, and Key will stand up and they flap their wings a couple of times and sort of roll their neck back and forth and say, "I'm feeling a lot better. I think I'm in I'm in fairly good shape. But if you are ever in the plane of air and you come to Akka, look me up.
Of course, thank you for your company and your wonderful hut. It's been enchanting to meet you.
And it has been literally life-saving to meet you. I wish you all the best of luck with whatever it is that you're doing. And he will break the hut and flutter off into the sky, heading off toward the east, sort of over the sea of fire, or at least in that general direction.
Don't know exactly where they're going, but I bet they're on the up and up.
And you all make fun of me for my philosophy of positive thinking. We wished for a tiny hut, and a tiny hut fell on top of us.
I wish it was cold.
Look, I have just had a long rest. I can create another blizzard, but I can only do it twice. So let's wait until we're really actually hot, shall we?
Yes, I suppose.
Well,
Make
if we
it
can
through.
get to the city, there are some places that are a little bit cooler than. We do have guests who don't take the heat quite as well.
Oh, tell me there's like an ice bar.
An ice bar?
You have them here. Where all the glasses and everything are made out of ice. It's very clever.
No, you'd probably want to try the actual plane of ice for that.
I didn't know ice had a plane. I just thought that would be like the water plane.
Well, it's sort of between the water plane and the airplane. A little bit of both.
Yeah, because when you kind of blend them together, I suppose. Ooh, that's really cool.
I want to live there forever. I'm none of this hot anymore.
Then we'd miss you.
Oh, you could, I'd build a nice, beautiful castle. I should report back to my mistress, though, at some point, so probably not. Just another dream.
Right, well, let's see if we can make it down to the City of Brass. Should be just a few more hours, I think. And Eshen will trek off through the ash, headed toward the city.
Cassandra, I don't think this is working. All right. She's very into hot things. I'm very not a hot person. I'm a very cold person. And I'm very into cold things. And she's very dirty. She sits in the ash. And she's very, very beautiful. But we are very, very different people.
Cassandra's gonna kind of like look you up and down, but not in a creepy way. Well, I beg to differ about your hotness, but are you just not feeling a spark?
It's just we're very different people.
Yes, but sometimes different can be very, very fun.
Where would we live? Here?
No, of course not.
God, it would be horrible, but I feel like if we lived anywhere else, you would hate it. And what would we eat? Anything spicy and I would melt or something. I don't know.
Darling, you're overthinking this. Like, always.
Maybe there's a reason I'm always overthinking things like this. Like maybe there's something that's stopping me from making this real connection.
All right, well, I'm not a doctor or a psychoanalytical person, but I think perhaps you're afraid of love.
I'm afraid of love.
If this isn't working out, I'll stop pushing it.
No, you're fine. It's not you. I'm just...
Well, I know it's not me.
Of course. I don't know. I'll try. One more day, a couple more hours. Just won't be that sweaty. And she'll go forth and offer an arm up again to Eshen.
Eshen will take your arm. And she'll enter sort of a tour guide mode, I guess, as you walk. Not that there's a whole lot to see here. I mean, you're sort of on this wasteland, but she'll point at the city of Brass and tell you a little bit about its history and how it's thousands of years old, ruled by a great sultan, and then she'll point over to the Sea of Fire and talk about how deep it is and how the boats are made that sail on it, and she's just sort of giving you a little bit of fun background history of the Plane of Fire as you walk.
It's fascinating how you can, remember all these details and historical and geographical occurrences.
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of geography, in case you haven't noticed. We've got one city and a lake of fire or sea of fire, and then a bunch of mountains. There's not really anything else here anymore.
Those shelters, were they cities at some point, or residences, or?
According to legend, it was a whole civilization here a long, long time ago, well before the city of Brass was established and built.
Before the dragon came in, too, or?
Oh, I don't know about that. Emberlung's been here for as long as anyone can remember, really. Probably one of the most ancient dragons in existence. Emberlung probably would know, actually, what this civilization was. We've sort of lost the knowledge. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think people in the city of Brass really care enough to... I'm sure there's a few people who study it, but most people in the city are more concerned with trade and accumulating more wealth.
Of course, and, general survival.
Well, I mean, for a Freetie like myself, this is sort of our natural environment. The heat doesn't really bother us, but my people love jewels and spices and incense and such things, and very good traders.
So the fire elementals, they don't bother you at all?
I mean, we get a few of them come by the city now and then, but I mean, she points over at the lake of fire and she says, I could go dive into that lake and come out completely unharmed. There's not a whole lot a fire elemental can do to me.
That's very impressive.
I mean, we're creatures of fire, so what's a fire elemental going to do that I can't take? They're not really much of a threat. That's not to say that, the city doesn't get attacked. Sometimes it does, but not usually by other creatures from this plane.
Right, that makes sense.
The awkward conversation. And we'll skip forward a little bit as you all walk underneath this slightly less burning sun and eventually get close enough to really see the city of Brass and the gates of the city itself. So you're approaching a gate that is made of gold. It's beautiful. 2 towers on either side. The gate is open. There's not really any traffic moving in and out, or at least not much of it. A few what looks like caravans coming in out of the wastes, but otherwise not a whole lot moving in and out of this gate. But the gate itself is beautiful. And inside you can see the whole thing is almost built like a bowl. So the buildings down toward the center, there's definitely a slope down. And off to your left, as you're coming in, I guess, is a very large soot black palace up on a small hill, and then you can see on the opposite sides of the bowl from you are what look like two ports, essentially places where the city touches the Sea of Fire. And Eshen points to the one on the right, and she says, "That's the harbor down there, with the where I said all the markets were, and where you could probably find a ship or some kind of vessel to take you to another one of the planes, wherever it is that you want to go. I can take you down there before I can take you down there if you'd like." The places you want to go, that's fine too.
I think that would be lovely.
All right.
Unless we have to go get supplies or anything like that for anywhere we're gonna go.
I mean, there are markets. If you want, I can take you.
I won't lie to y'all. I only bought 2 days worth of rations. No, sorry, 5 days worth of rations. So I'm feeling a little low. I know Cadence can create food and water, but what if we go to the plane of silence? They just seem to be, you know, making them up now. There could be all sorts of planes. So I think it's best to be prepared.
Fair point. Well, we should get rations anyways, regardless of whether we're gonna end up in a plane of silence.
What about, I mean, if there's a plane of air, what if there's not a plane of air, you know, a plane of, like, just nothing? Then what do you do then?
So what, we should get things that create oxygen for us to breathe?
Perhaps like a small bonsai tree. With a healthy infrastructure to keep it working, you know, like a little bit of water, a fully enclosed thing, with some bugs to transfer things and...
Why do I feel like I'm going to be the one carrying this?
Well, the Grand Market is not far away from the docks if you want to go.
Probably we should.
Probably.
Well, it was very lovely to have such a knowledgeable escort to the city, and we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, my pleasure. You're all lovely company, and I'll take you there. And then if you don't mind, I'll take you to the docks and see you off.
Sounds perfect.
And hopefully, if you see that cousin of mine, you can tell him that I'm looking for him. Right. So this way then.
I don't suppose you have a portrait of him, like a small one.
Unfortunately, no. He's. We've been told we look a lot alike. If that helps. I mean, he's a little bit taller than me, but I don't have a good portrait of him I could give you.
Can I tell if Ashen seems sad that we'll be parting ways or relieved?
Oh yeah, you can make me an insight check if you'd like.
But no, forgive me. Throw another fan. 11.
You're not sure if she's sad. She's definitely she definitely seems a little bit reluctant. And you know, Emberlung had said that if she stuck around with you, she'd find a cousin, and that might have something to do with it. But otherwise, you're not really able to tell.
Right, so if we're going to our next, which is full of mountains, aside from rations, perhaps we should get pikes or shoes.
Maybe
Pikes.
Maybe some magic items that allow us to fly.
Climbing
I wonder if they go
gear.
cheap here.
I don't know. It's possible. How much money have you all got?
Very good question.
I know that's not a proper question to ask someone, but could probably pull our funds if there's something that could help us all.
I still have my full starting gold. And don't worry, usually I can find a way to get around having to pay for things.
That's... Looks over at Cassandra. Reprehensible, of course.
Not when you let them believe it's their idea.
My records are correct. I also seem to still have my starting gold.
See, I'm not the
I'm a
only
fair
one at
chunk.
it.
I bought armor before I came on this adventure, so probably don't have as much as everybody else, but very good protection.
Don't need to justify your being here, Cadence. We all want you here.
That's good. It's nice to feel, wanted by friends.
At that, Cassandra flitting her gaze to Ashen to see if there was any reaction.
Eshin is being Eshin doesn't say anything.
So aloof.
But she's definitely watching and listening to you all as you have this conversation for sure.
A Freety Aloof sounds like the title of a romance novel.
Maybe like a Final Fantasy rock band.
Yes, both. ¿Por qué no los dos? Alternatively, if there's anything that could help us breathe under water, under rock, and in thin air, that might be something to look into, because there is a possibility that we would have to go quite a bit underground or to the plane of water to the sunken city.
Hopefully we can find like a snorkel of everlasting air or something.
The markets here are full of exciting items, and we collect stuff. We collect things from all over the plains. So if there's anything you're looking for, if it exists, you can probably find it here.
You know what that means? Shopping day.
But of course. Absolutely. This sounds lovely.
Well, come this way then, and I'll take you down to the markets. Just a quick walk. And Eshin leads you down this wide parade way that is lined with very tall brass statues of what must be other Ifriti, wielding weapons, very ceremonial, like parade way, essentially. And after going down that for a little ways, she turns off onto a slightly smaller street that's a little bit more crowded, and takes you down sort of along the sloping down into the deep bowl part of the city, and then around the sides, never quite getting to the center. And after about 25-minute hike, thereabouts, something in that range, you emerge on a really huge, wondrous marketplace. This is very much an open air style market. There are some shops that are in actual buildings sort of ringing around the outer edge of it, but otherwise it is tents, stalls, everything, propped up, and there's everything from beautiful cloth to weapons vendors. You can smell foods cooking and spices. There is incense, perfumes, fragrances sort of wafting from one area. You can see all kinds of metal products, things like candelabras, but also just like nice dishware, jewelers, pretty much anything that you could want to buy from a shop like this. This market is just spread out. And you notice too that once you reach the market, where when you first entered the city, it was primarily Ifriti that you were seeing moving around amongst the streets. By the time you get to the market, that definitely has changed. You're down to maybe 1 and 2 people that you see being Ifriti, and the rest are a very broad mixture of all different types of humanoids.
As a long shot, can I be keeping an eye out for the cousin?
Absolutely, you can. Make a perception check for me.
I'm awful at those. This is like Call of Cthulhu all over again.
You don't see anything that looks like Eshen's description of someone who looks very similar to her, but male. At least not yet. But you can keep your eyes peeled. So where would you like to start for shopping day?
I suppose we need rations.
Oh, rations come and go. We're in a new city. Let's go and look at the exciting things, the magic items. I could use a new outfit.
I think that in this situation, then, because Cassandra knows damn well that Burbeck's probably going to do things. She just want to see. You know, I'll go head up the acquiring rations part of this expedition, and you all, see about the interesting things.
Is there anything? Oh, I think we're about to ask the same question, Cadence.
Of course. Anything you would like for us to pick up for you? With our money, of course.
Any particular item of clothing that you particularly want? You've already got a parasol.
Oh, I don't need. I don't need any specific clothing. If you see
Maybe
something that
Jewelry
seems
then.
appropriate.
Necklaces, rings, that sort of thing.
A fan? We could find you a fan, and not like someone to follow you around and cheer on you, although that'd be cool, but like a fan.
Well, 1, I think that's you, and 2, I did lose a fan when I screamed. So yes, I could use a fan.
All right. We'll
Cool.
see what we can find for you.
Sure,
I'm
we can
just
find you a
gonna-
fan.
I'm just gonna go off to get some rations.
All right.
Chaotic good.
Yeah, so you can go very easily find some vendors who are selling, dried meats and, whey breads and things like that. Everything here has sort of a kind of an inherent spiciness to it, which Cadence will probably not be happy about. But the prices are very reasonable, so you don't have to worry about prices being anything more than kind of standard ration prices.
I will find the least spicy things that look like they have no components in them that could possibly be confused or misconstrued as maybe being a bug. So that Burbeck can't torment Cadence. It's all just gonna be like really plain porridge or something.
I'll say you can find like a human vendor who's clearly like
A human vendor? No, we don't want to eat people.
a human who's importing like potatoes or something like that from
Perfect.
from the
Like-
material plane.
Bland but filling was the description, right? Gruel. That's what we're describing.
Cruel.
You find dry like oatmeal packets.
Yes, everything is a shade of tan.
That's the shade of dirt.
No.
Yes, you are able to find some blander food that hopefully will suit Cadence for sure. So you can just decide how much you want to purchase and.
I have 25 gold, so as much as that'll do me.
Okay. I think that gets you at least like a month's worth of rations or something like that. I don't know.
Rations
This
are
is
pretty.
off the head.
Okay, as much as I can actually physically carry then, because that's a lot.
Okay. Sounds like you can get like maybe a week.
Okay.
Oh, we should look for bags of holding.
Yeah, so what are the rest of you looking for?
Right. Okay, everyone. Today's scam.
Yes.
We're from the material plane, from a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay. Looking for samples.
Magical items or
Mhm.
consumables.
Well, if they
Yes.
have consumable magic items, like perhaps rings, we could take a test batch.
So are we here on official business, doing the testing and reporting back to somebody?
No, we'll want to take the samples back to them to decide about shipping if we're going to actually have a thing, possibly. Is that what you're thinking, Barback?
Yes, definitely. We need to test how they survive on planar transport. So we'll probably take them around a few planes of the elements. It's a foolproof plan.
And then we bring them back, right?
Well, it depends. Usually samples, they don't usually look for them back because they put it down as an investment, don't they? An investment in future business. And who knows, maybe we will give them to a company and maybe get them some business. We could do that if we're feeling charitable.
If they
is
survive, they
the
must
name?
survive the planal the planal
That's the thing. If they don't survive the planar transportations, then we can't have anything to give them back, can we?
All right, what's the name of our company then?
Baroxens?
I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe something to do with traveling.
Mm.
We're looking for items for tourists who want to travel the elemental planes.
I don't know. Not the clever one, you two are.
Something to do with holidays, perhaps, or journeys, or... Come on, Oxy, you've always got a pun.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to... Well, we need something either pun for travel, or pun for plane, or pun for the material plane.
Well, of course, it's always just simple alliteration, like traveler's trinkets or journeyman's jewels, things like that.
Oh, we can't have journeyman's jewels. That sounds too dirty. They'll never believe us.
That does sound quite crude. My apologies.
Traveler's trinkets. I like that. That's not copyrighted,
That
is
would
it?
work, that
Is
would
it a
work,
trademark?
yeah. Does it matter?
I don't know. If it is, all the better.
Even better, you're right. If they look it up in the directory, maybe it'll be there. All right, let's go.
Exactly. Done.
I think a jewelry store would be best, Like, don't get me wrong. I love the fox hat, but I can't help but feel warm just because I'm wearing a hat.
It is quite fluffy looking.
I know, and it protects me from the fire, but at the same time, it's a journey. It's a journey of the mind.
Right, so I'll let you do the talking, and if that doesn't work, then,
We'll be on the
that-
other edge.
Abort plan run, yes. If you like, you two can just be like, shippers. Maybe they'll give us a whole box of the stuff and we can sell it on.
Oh.
I am quite strong, so I could carry.
Especially if they have just like general elemental rings, like survive all the elements at once.
That'd be quite useful.
Okay. Let's go. And I'm going to look for a magic item store that looks like it has a lot of different magic items. Preferably not something like a market store. Something that has like a shop front, so it's reasonably official. Maybe looks like it might be on the up and up, and looking for new business partners.
Okay.
And I can insight roll the shops if you like.
Yeah, give me an insight check. We'll call it an insight check to see if you can find an appropriate.
Thank you very much to the Maharishi, Sean, who gives us all an advantage. So far, we all have at least 2 advantages. And I'm using one right now.
Gotta find the right store.
For a 30.
Ooh. All right. Yes, so you do like a circuit of this market looking for the perfect mark for today's con. And you find in the outer ring of this market where there are actual buildings and shops, you find one that is a little bit offset from the area where most of the jewelry and magic item shops are. This one is it's a little bit small, but it looks like it's well kept and well tended, and there's some nice items sitting out front. There's what looks like a couple of wands and a few rings in the window, and you think this is probably a good place to start. Yeah.
Before we go in, Cadence, if you wouldn't mind just prestidigitating us all and making us look pretty. And Oxy, let's mend your coat because it's a mess, and I'll cast mending on their coat to get the fire sorted. Nice and professional.
All right. Actually, wait a second. Wait, no, I can't do that. I don't have anything I can actually help with, like disguise stuff. Oh.
It will also make us smell quite nice. Like the heat doesn't particularly bother us.
Oh, yes. Perhaps we could go for a specific smell. Do you perhaps have like sandalwood? Everyone thinks of business when they smell sandalwood. I don't know why.
Of course. Right, this will last about an hour, so let's go.
Right, in we go then.
Oh, wait, give me a second. I can actually make us... I can forge us proper documents.
That's perfect.
Give me a moment.
Yes.
I have a forgery kit.
By the way, she's still with you at this point. She has not left. She's just watching, like...
Alright, Eshin, do you want in or not?
No, I'm fine. I'll wait out here while you conduct your business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And who knows, it might be genuine business. We haven't decided yet.
Here's the documents.
I'll meet you outside when you're done, and
let's see how good they do.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. All right.
Do you want me to try and roll something with the forgery kit?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. Trying to like what skill you even put a forgery kit on. Either I guess dexterity or maybe.
I mean, performance is charisma, maybe.
Yeah, charisma. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me what would you expect to roll with a forgery kit, Oxy?
I suppose a charisma, actually, because yeah, you're trying to perform in a way, or...
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me one.
It's charisma, so...
Definitely like performance for that sort of thing, because you're trying to like imitate
Art, isn't
the
it?
professional. Yeah.
No way.
Give me a
Certainly.
performance check and add your proficiency bonus if you're not already proficient with performance.
I'm proficient with forgery, but not performance, so I'm just gonna roll deception, because it adds up to the same thing, but it is performance.
Perfect. Oh, very nice. Okay.
Perfect.
Here you go.
You're pretty confident that these look very official.
Oh, yes. These look lovely. Right. These are my jacket.
There you go.
In we go
Alright.
then.
In we go.
All right. You step up to the shop. There's a sign hanging over the door, which is the shop's name, and it says a nice ring to it.
Oh.
Perfect.
Gotta get on the pun action. And when you open the door, there's the tinkling noise of a little bell. And there is another Ifriti woman who's standing behind a counter. And she looks up when the bell tinkles and she says, can I help you?
I rather hope that you can. Hello, I'm here on behalf of Traveler's Trinkets from the Material Plane. I want to talk about a potential business offer, and I wonder if I could speak to a manager or the owner if they're around.
She says, I'm the owner.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're representing a company who have recently had approved a large grant to start sourcing items and trinkets to help people from the material plane go on their holidays around the elemental planes. And what I would like, ideally, is around 5 to 10 magical items that would allow people to go through the plane so that we may test them.
So you're looking for samples that you can take back?
Ideally, yes. I imagine you'd like to know more about the company, though. I don't like to beat around the bush, though, so I just wanted to let you know why I'm here, straight off the bat.
Oh, yes, I mean, tell me a little bit more about Traveler's Trinkets. How long have you been in business?
Well, Traveler's Trinkets has been servicing the material plane for the last 20 years. They travel all of the Forgotten Realms and some other realms, but we haven't been able to make a big breakthrough into the elemental planes yet. Due to this exact problem. We're very good on magic items that involve creatures and armor and all those sorts of things, but when it comes to the elements, we just fall down. And we would like to change that going forward.
Do you anticipate a large influx of travelers to the elemental planes?
Oh, it's all the rage. The fire plane's very hot in the material plane right now. It's one of those things. Everyone wants to come and visit. Everyone's been everywhere. We're hitting what century is it now? I don't know, but it's everyone's bored of all the conventional planes. They want to go somewhere more exotic, and where more exotic than the fire plane, the air plane, the earthen plane, and maybe even the water plane. Maybe even Frostfell in between. It is called Frostfell, isn't it? Did someone say it was called Frostfell? Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Yes. Well, all right. What kind of do you have your revenue numbers?
I do, actually, yes. Over the last 10 years, we've seen 10% increase in profits year on year, with a turnover last year of 20,000 gold pieces.
That's pretty nice. And what's your projected revenue for this coming year?
We expect to maintain and improve on our 10% increase by capitalizing on opportunities like this one. And so I would expect our yearly profit this year to be around 23,000 gold. And we are still on the up with a growing customer base.
Now, I'm sure you're aware with any business venture, there are risks involved. What do you consider the risks to be of if we were to transact some kind of deal?
Well, for us, it's that the items don't work. Hence the reason that we would like to get some samples, because we would like to travel around the planes to test some and just, make sure that they do work, or what kind of problems we might face even if they do work. Because, for example, I'm here with this hat, but I feel rather warm, even though I'm protected from fire damage. It's a strange thing. So I would like to upgrade to perhaps something a little less gaudy, something a little bit more professional, and something that is, discreet but effective. Now, other risks. We would like to support you as a business. We believe in raising people up together, because we don't want you to go out of business just shortly into us, making a partnership. So we would also be looking at your provincial revenues. We'd like to talk all sorts of, we'd like to see your paperwork and that sort of thing. And also we would be bringing you into a group of trusted sellers that we could work with.
Go ahead and make me a deception check. I will give you advantage because this is an incredibly elaborate scheme you're trying to pull off here.
There's a 28.
and I am going to roll an insight for her to see if she recognizes the bullshit that you are sending her way. Okay. She says, do you have I would be willing to perhaps part with a few sample items, but I would need some sort of guarantee of this business agreement coming into fruition. So, any paperwork you have that you could provide to me as an indication of your official capacity for travelers' trinkets, and then we would need some kind of contract to stipulate that in exchange for these items, assuming these items work, which they will, I'm very confident in the wares that I sell, that we would then enter into an agreement for trade.
Fantastic. Yes, I have all of those things. First of all, here are the paperwork for me and my associates. This one's me. My name's Burbak Lolorialian. And this is Decadence and Oxy. Now, Oxy is actually our writer. They will be able to form a contract and anything else that you need. They have all of the kit right here. So we can discuss the terms of the agreement together and write the contract afresh.
All right, and she'll take those papers from you, starts looking through them. This seems to be in order. Okay, and do you have a standard contract prepared already?
Well, thank you, Burbak. Well, seeing as this is actually new for you into the material planes, we will actually be using a slightly standard contract, but adjusting it for the plane of travel that we are looking into. Is it suitable for you?
That would be fine, but I would like to see the contract and sign it, make sure everything looks good before I provide any samples.
Of course. Here, and Oxy will bring out the the contract. We're like, well, so what we'd probably adjust is that versus where we usually have it, where it is about what realms, we would include actually the material planes and elemental planes in this document area right there, as we shall see it as not just in the known realms, but as well as the material and elemental planes. Caveat right there.
I tell you what, it would be lovely as well for you and us if it wasn't like a success-fail thing. If you were to work with us on any failures or anything like that so that we can develop your products as well and make them better, that would help us in the long run.
All right, we can put a clause in there that should the products not meet your the needs of products that you wish to carry into your shops, that we can work to develop additional products together. That said, I do like to do my due diligence on such things. So I'm afraid that I won't be able to allow you to leave with multiple items today. I can provide you one, maybe two samples to start, and then I would like to just, I've never heard of travelers' trinkets before, so I would like to do a little bit of my own research just to make sure that that everything is in order. I hope you won't be offended.
Of course. Now, we are here on a business trip with some other items that we're currently testing. So may I request, you say only a couple? Okay, maybe not 5 to 10, but could I just get, let's see, there's the 3 of us. Could I get 3 and perhaps 1 spare in case of any breakages?
I'm not comfortable giving out more than 3 items, but since there are 3 of you here testing, I would be willing to part with 3 samples to start, assuming we are able to sign that contract.
That seems agreeable to me. That seems agreeable to you, Oxy, contract holder?
Yes, absolutely. That seems agreeable to me.
Madam Oxy, if you will prepare that contract, I can show you some of the items that we have here that might be suitable for travelers to the elemental planes. And she'll come out from behind the counter and head to some of these glass cases that are around the room with all of her different items, and she says, "Now you mentioned your hat that you weren't quite."
It's big and woolly. You know, I'd much rather like something like this is a ring. Okay, it's just a standard partnership ring that I've got from the material plane. But something discreet like that. I've heard of people having nice rings they can use to have magic imbued in them. I would love something like that.
We do have a nice selection of rings of resistance.
I did hope so, because, you know, the name above the door gave it away, you know, a nice ring to it. I see what you've done there. It's a wonderful slogan.
Thank you. You know, that when we initially opened, we primarily dealt in rings. We've branched out a little bit since then.
And if you have like logos and slogans and things like that, if you have a promo pack, we'd be very happy to display that on our sales pods.
I'm sure I could find something in the back that I could provide to you. So we do have a nice selection of rings of resistance for heat and as well as cold, and that should help with, of course, our plane here on the plane of fire, as well as if you head to the Frostfell or to the plane of water. It does get very cold there. Similarly, if you are planning to head toward the plane of water, there is also, and she will show you some like little hats. They're not quite as big as your like box cow hat thing. They're just smaller sort of caps. And she said, these are a selection of caps of water breathing made from the finest fabrics, of course, and the best enchantments. These will permit you to breathe underwater very easily.
Oh, yes, very nice. Adjustable too.
Yes. We recognize that many different creatures have many different head sizes, and our products need to be broadly applicable to all beings.
And as I look at it, is there a price tag on it?
Yeah, there is. The price tag on it right now is 500 gold.
Yes, it seems quite nice. Very fine material, actually. This is exactly the kind of high quality gear that we want to be promoting.
Well, we and the City of Brass produce very fine silks, and these are, of course, made with the finest quality products here. It's not just a magic item; it is a beautiful hat in its own right.
It really is quite dashing. Tell me, what kind of silk is it from? Is it from like a worm or a spider, or do you know?
Silkworms, of course.
Oh, of course, yes. Very nice.
And then we also have, if you are planning to travel to the plane of air, we have an assortment of items that can be used for flying. She'll show you a rack of boots that have little fluttering wings on the sides of them. This is our collection of boots of flying. Each of them is made of handmade leather, and ensorcelled as it is cobbled together.
Now, I must admit, I've seen boots of flying before in the material plane, and I must admit, looking at your marked price there, they were a little bit cheaper. What is it about these that brings the quality in? Can you tell me a bit more about the leather and the materials used?
Of course. I was not prepared for this.
Who was? I'm so sorry.
Can I just go like, oh, it's this fine blah 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 blah. Or here's a term I use, which is called biffic. Whether it's biffic.
These are made from the hides of some of the great beasts and birds from the plane of air, all of which are, of course, inherently magical by themselves, and thus you get much more lift out of these boots than you would get out of your standard set of boots of flying.
Oh, and I imagine that would come with inherent, maybe not fire resistance for the person, but sort of built in, you know, you don't have to worry about the wings burning off.
Oh, yes, they're very resistant to flame and damage, of course.
Quite impressive.
We don't want you to be dissatisfied with your item.
Of course. Yeah, I'm suitably impressed. So one of the main flaws on the material playing Boots of Flying is you can't fly through an inferno. You just end up hitting the ground fairly quick. Is it a standard 4 hours cast time?
Is it what?
A standard 4 hours flying time.
Oh yes. That is correct. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll say she can show you some additional items. I mean, whatever the sort of things that you're interested in finding. She's got a pretty nice collection here, and they're all very high quality.
The only other thing I can think of, we had a Ring of Resistance, right, and a Boots of Flying. The only other thing that we were looking for was maybe something that would help us breathe.
Yeah, I said she's got caps of water breathing.
Caps of water breathing, yes. So we've got all three. Great.
Nice.
Do any of these look?
Taking notes.
Do any of these look stealable? Could I slip a ring into my pocket and no one notice?
You could try.
I don't want to try straight out. I'm a good thief. I want to scout before I try.
Okay. Make me a perception. Oh, we have to have 21 passive perception.
I do.
You can see that there's a little placard, I guess, in the corner of the shop that says premises are watched by arcane eyes, thieves beware.
Got it. Okay, lovely. So then, excellent. I come back to the front of the shop with her then. Okay, so you said 3 items. We've looked at 3 different things. Is that 3 per or 1 of each?
That would be 1 of each.
1 of each. Okay, I think that would be quite suitable.
All right. Oxy, do you have the contract? Can I take a look, please?
I do. Here it is with the addendum, as I mentioned right there. You might need to just initial it just to show that you do see that we made the addendum together. But otherwise, you'll need to initial here and here as a regular part of the contract, and then sign there, and myself or Burback will sign the other part.
Before you write the quantities in, Oxy, I wonder, is there some kind of retainer that we could give you that would allow us to take more items? For example, perhaps a deposit of, say, 1,000 gold or something.
If you wanted to leave a deposit of 1,000 gold, then I would say you could take 2 additional items with you.
I really want us all to be able to test all 3 and perhaps have a spare each. So exactly how much gold would you need as a retainer?
If you'd like to take a whole second set, so 6 items, or do you mean you'd like a full set of 9?
A full set of 9 and even some spares. So let's say 12. Let's go crazy. What's the maximum? You tell me the maximum, then we can work it into something that we can afford.
Well, if you wanted to take a full set of 9, then I would say I would need a 3,000 gold deposit.
And would you accept a check?
Sorry, darling. Only cold hard cash here.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go ahead with the agreement for now. I'll have to check back in with HQ before I can make that sort of expenditure anyway. So,
Okay.
But it's good to know. We'd have to also probably set up a bank account out here in the fire plane. Do you have a good recommendation? Who do you bank with?
We bank with First Royal. It's if you go down the street and you take 2 lefts, big building, giant gold columns, can't miss it.
And First Royal, you said. I'll make sure to tell my higher-ups, the accounts department, Well, that's lovely then. We'll take the 3 items if that's okay.
Certainly. As I said, 1 of each, and I will. This contract seems to be in order. Are you able to make a second copy, or do you have a second copy so I can retain one for my records?
Oh, absolutely. I will just again do the addendum on the second copy, and you will just need to initial that you've seen the addendum made and agreed to how it currently is.
Perfect.
So there we go. I will write that up then while we're putting in the quantities. Burback, is everything else in order though?
I believe everything else is in order, yes. As lead sales, I'll put my signature down.
Excellent.
I'll just write up the addendum on the second.
Yeah, you guys can all sit down and make your duplicate copies of the contract. She'll enter in the quantities, and you can add an additional addendum that says if you guys bring back a 3,000 gold deposit, that she'll allow you to take 6 more items out to give you 3 full sets of.
Also, before we go, you mentioned a promo pack. You said you might have had something upstairs.
I did. Hang on one second. And she. Hang on. And she says, "Euphoria," and you see a very tall, kind of beefy tiefling woman actually comes out of the back, and the shopkeeper turns to this tiefling and she says, "Darling, will you help them pick out the right sizes and everything? They're getting 1 pair of boots and a ring and a cap of water breathing. I've got to go run to the back real quick to grab something." And Euphoria just kind of nods with a little bit of a bow, and the shopkeeper runs out. Says, "I'll be right back," leaving you all in the room with this tiefling.
Euphoria, was it? That's a very nice name.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, if we just get our items then, that's lovely. Have you worked here long?
A few decades.
Very nice. It's my first time to the Fireplane. I work for a tourist company,
So I heard. So, what sizes do we need to get here for?
Well,
who's testing each item?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cap's adjustable, so we don't need to worry about that. The real question is, who's going to wear the shoes? Cadence, I've got to... No, wait, hang on a minute. I look at Cadence's feet. What kind of feet do Dragonborn have?
Big feet.
Yeah, but like,
Large.
are they taloned? Like,
I don't know. I've never looked at
can they
mine.
wear shoes? Can they wear shoes?
Maybe they're all just sandals.
Maybe.
We can say if you would like to give the boots to Cadence, they can be sandals.
Yes, we'll take some of the fancy sandals.
Yes, it looks like they're taloned mostly, and it looks
Oh.
like they do feet wrap type boots with leg wraps, and sort of leave the toes poking out usually.
So Euphoria will pick one of those up for you.
You could get some flapping, flying flip-flops. You can
Hey,
keep that one,
sure.
Euphoria. You can tell,
They're not flip-flops, they're flip-flaps.
of course. They are now.
Flaps. Yes.
And which ring would you like? The cold resistance or the heat resistance?
Definitely cold resistance, I think. We're already testing some heat resistance items. And while it would be perhaps quicker to be here, we're going to the other planes anyway. So we'll take a cold resistance, please, if that's all right.
All right. And who will be wearing the ring? What size?
I don't need it.
Suppose
Sorry,
I
Ox.
could.
Oxy, yes, I think that you'd be a good test for that, actually.
Oh, I'll test that one.
Well, come over here and we'll see which one
Lovely.
fits you best.
There you go. Thank
And
you.
Euphoria will test rings. She has to find a fairly small one from the batch of to fit on your hands.
Yep.
And then, did you have a preference on color for the cap?
Oh, black goes with everything, doesn't it?
Very much so. And she'll take all 3 of your items. And you know how in fancy shops they wrap everything in tissue paper and they have like a nice little sticker that they put on it and then put it in a little bag. She basically goes through that process for you. She wraps everything in nice tissue paper that's made, it's like a very fine, pretty gold color. Puts a little sticker on it and puts it in a nice little paper bag for you.
Thank you, Euphoria. Now tell me, here in the Fireplane, is it customary to leave a tip?
Not particularly, no. But I wouldn't say no. If
Well, then-
you
I think you
What?
should treat yourself. I'm going to take a gold coin out of my pocket and put it on the counter.
She'll very discreetly swipe that into her pocket as the shopkeeper returns.
I won't tell. I won't say a word.
And
Very
the shopkeeper comes back in, and she's got a folder that looks very thick in her hands, and she says, here you go, Burback. This has some marketing materials, our slogan, stickers.
Oh, actual stickers as well as we. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, yes, of course. A few small, trinkets and such tchotchkes.
We've got the design work there as well, so we can replicate it on some of our branding. Lovely.
That makes things so. Oh, it's so lovely to work with such a prepared shopkeep.
It is, honestly. I knew when I was walking around the market, I was like, which shop should I go in? I want a ring at least. That one's got a nice ring to it. See what I did there? And I just knew that you would be very helpful. Well, now, go on.
I was going to say, it was a pleasure doing business with you, and
Yes.
I hope to see you return with that deposit.
Yes, indeed. And I'll be heading to many places, including the bank, before the end of the day. Thank you very much for that hot tip.
You're very welcome. I hope you have an excellent day.
Yes, well, we'll be back after our journey, probably, unless we get permission, in which case we'll be back in the morning.
I look forward to hearing your feedback on the items.
Yes, thank you.
You walk out 3 items richer.
Did we just make like around 1,500 gold and paid a gold for it?
It's like there's
All
like
right.
a block away, and Oxy just like fist bump to Burback.
Look, I assume we're going to do more testing possibilities. Is that accurate?
What do you mean, rinse and repeat? Go around several shops, same story.
Sort of.
Well, we do need more items, and that went rather well.
I would like to buy one. I'll just dip into a shop real fast. Just some gloves. It's not a big deal.
Cadence,
Would
did
you
you see the
mind-
price on them things?
Not that shop. Perhaps
Say,
a different
pretty
one.
pricey. But if that's like, if they're being competitive on the market, probably not going to get much cheaper.
Just possibly if you could see somewhere that's got magic items, but possibly not the top tier sort of, You're better at seeing things and knowing these things than I am. I just feel like we should get Cassandra something that we bought instead of something that we sort of stole, Well, not
How-
stole.
How much money have you got on you?
Enough.
Oh, no, come on, let's talk brass tacks here. How much have you got on you?
1,500.
1,500? I thought you said you were poor.
Oh no, I said I bought armor, so I didn't have as much as you did, but I still had enough.
Cadence, I've got 15 gold in my pocket.
That's absurd.
15 or 14 now after you did the tip.
14 now.
Okay.
I mean, in Dragonborn, this is not a lot of money.
Cadence, that's an insane amount of money.
This
I
is
need
not
to
a
know
lot of money. Look,
I need to know more
Look.
Dragonborn.
you need to see my mistress's hoard sometime because it is absolutely ridiculous how much is in there. You should not, because she knows what everything is and she would notice anything missing.
You did say horse there, didn't you?
Hoard.
Horde.
Horde.
Oh my
I
god.
thought you said something very different.
I think I heard the same thing.
No, my mistress's hoard.
Right.
Wow. No.
Giant silver dragons.
Right.
stacks of-
Well,
I
no,
actually
you
have
can't
things-
buy anything with that. Because that's now our retainer if we need one.
Look, just let me see if I can get something, all right?
Okay,
It
look,
would mean a lot.
Bale.
go on then. You go and do that, and then we'll use that as a retainer in the next shop and probably be able to get the other 3 items if we go somewhere a little bit less classy.
Or a bale. Or our bale.
We won't need a bale. It's going to take them at least 2 weeks to get a message back from the material plane.
True. You gave them our names.
Don't worry. We never use our real names anyway, so it's foolproof.
Right, so just go back, just find me an enchanted glove shop if you could.
Oh, I have things I can sell too, by the way, to help us up our silver or gold. Things from I have cutlery.
Perfect.
You're looking for this enchanted glove shop. Cadence, you hear Eshin calling out from behind you. She says, Cadence!
Yes.
Go on. Go pre-private, Cadence. Go.
Yes, Session?
Well, I know you and your friends are going to be leaving shortly, and I wanted you to have a nicer memento of your time here than simply your memories of trekking out to Emberlung's lair. And she sort of swallows and looks awkwardly away, and she says, I'm not very good at this. Here. And she holds out a little gold locket that the engraving on the front of the locket is actually what looks like a stylized map of the city of Brass.
That's beautiful and quite useful.
I thought it would be, something that you could use to remember your time here.
Oh, thank you. So where is it that you live on this little brass locket?
Yes.
She says, "Oh well, my home is not far from here. It's over in and she sort of goes to point out where her home is on this locket, and you see her just freeze. And the look on her face is just one of stunned shock, and you realize she's staring beyond you at something.
I look.
About a few hundred feet away, walking away from you, but still visible, is an Afridi man who looks remarkably like Eshin. An extreme resemblance to her. He's a couple inches taller, but otherwise they could almost be twins. And she just sort of is frozen for a moment, and then she calls out, she says, Calic! And he jumps and turns around, and there's a moment where he sees her and he starts to smile, and then his gaze slides over to you with Burback and Oxy not far away, and his whole expression darkens and he bolts.
I cast Hold Person.
I was like, do we have time to command?
What is the range on Hold Person?
Good question. Oh hell, I didn't take it. God!
Command is 60 feet.
Oh, I thought
He
I
is
took
a couple hundred feet away right now. That is not going to do it, I'm afraid. So we are going to stop here. Next week we will pick up. You guys can just try to decide if you're going to chase him down or what you're going to do.
Meanwhile, Cassandra is just eating a nice snack on a park bench.
Oh my god, that I haven't exercised my bullshit for a while.
That was brilliant bullshit.
I am happy to enable bullshit.
I had so much fun. I genuinely, I've just put it in the Zoom chat. I just looked down and was like, can't be right. And was checking to see tweets had gone out and stuff. I was like,
I know.
I had too much fun. Too much fun. That was great.
That was great. Yeah, because beginning I was like, oh yeah, no, this feels like I got all the time in the world. Oh look, I look at the time, maybe half an hour's gone by. I look again, I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, so we do have credits today. Sorry, I'm like copying and pasting things over here, but with my fingers bound up, it's really hard. Like, you know how casual it is to just like little finger copy and then another finger paste or not. Anyway. So we do have credits to outro with today, which we'll be doing. Before we go though, please check out our closing links. As you've got, we've got Streamlabs merch there, we've got Discord, Twitter, and all them good things. Go and check them out. It's places you can communicate with us, talk to us about the show, and all that sort of stuff. We're going to be in Discord for a short while, talking about the show. I'll be there for a short while. I'm sure other people might be hanging out there for a little while. What happened, Scratticus? I broke it on the plane. I don't know how. Yes. Also, check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press and Bird in the Storm Publishing. And we're very grateful to because they make this all. Until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions. We'll be back in just over half an hour with Apotheosis. So tune in for that too. Keep on evoking emotions, everyone, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Or which campaign?